Alright, so this is going to be a quick little rant vlog thingy, mainly because my video timing is only 7 minutes because I have a lot I need to delete off my phone. Anyway, so obviously, the prince died recently, yeah, so he was not a good figure. You can just look up the history and all this other shit. And then I saw a post by Black Friday, known goth or whatever, thing before. Well, nobody knows you. Well, yeah, no, that's my point. Nobody knows me. Anyway, that just reminded me of several other just little things that I've witnessed or experienced, etc., within the goth community and all that, that it is exceedingly white and unnuanced and edgy and all kinds. Well, I mean, edgy, but like there's multiple types. Anyway, my main point is a lot of goths are still very much white in their nuance on a lot of things, and just being fucking racist and just inconsiderate of all kinds of shit, etc. We already know the whole like slurry of goths that goth is supposed to be white. I'm like, well, just objectively, no. Just looking at it pop culture wise and historically speaking. But also the whole aspect of, a lot of goth is, counterculture, different, going beyond the norm. But if you noticed how a lot of white goths aversion to the norm is just typically picking up things that are found in other cultures to come across as different and edgy, while goths of color are celebrating things of themselves and their cultures that are shunned. Have you noticed that? It's very prominent. You'll see a white goth in dreads and it's edgy, it's different, it's not how it's supposed to be, shunned, blah blah blah. But if you see a black goth in dreads, it's taking in within themselves their culture. It's embracing their whole like blackness and aesthetic. It's different, but in the way of personal acceptance, if anything, or having a large, multicolored afro, or all kinds of things, different types of jewelry, even incorporating a lot of like Afro Gothic aesthetics. Whether you're like actually from Africa or of recent descentage, you notice that? Obviously, I'm speaking just purely on black, but I know goths of all kinds of like colors and explanations. I know Hispanic goths. I know Japanese goths. I know Chinese goths. I know fucking Indian goths. I know Native American goths. I know all kinds. And they incorporate their culture and celebrate it because it's considered, shunned upon in many cases and hyper aesthetic, you get it, fetishized. But with white goths, 9 times out of 10, it's different, it's shunned, and I'm wearing it because it looks cool on me because it's different and shunned in other cultures. To my current reciting, which is, the grandchild of European in a lot of cases. Now, I could talk about how colonialism, imperialism has fucked up cultures in a lot of other PC or POC countries. With that in mind, as far as aesthetics and shit like that, but I don't have neither the time nor the information to really go deeply into that. But as far as here in the US, from my own personal experiences, witnessing, being in groups, collectives, circles, online and offline, whenever I'm like dressed up and etc., it's me fighting against that anti-blackness that I was raised on socially around me, and just being different and going against what I was told I wasn't allowed to do, what I couldn't do because it's too black, or it's not professional, or You know, you can't do that. You're black, or blah blah blah, or just all kinds of stuff. You know, and it gives me a sense of like a compliment, accomplishment, personal validation, etc., etc. But also, I just like looking different in ways that I thought I wasn't even allowed to be. But what I noticed with a lot of white goths, their attempt at difference and etc. is just costuming other cultures for the aesthetic, for the edge and difference, and it feels disingenuine. Probably said that word incorrectly as well. Sorry, I'm also multitasking. I'm working on a neck cape of a whitetail. There's a reason why I'm holding this bloody knife, but you're not going to see what I'm working on, at least not in this video. And this video also only has about a minute left. So anyway, my main point being, it just seems parady in some cases when we're speaking on aesthetics of Gothic culture, because obviously it doesn't have to be, you know, Instagram goth type, and it doesn't even have to be trad goth. You know, I tend to go around with a lot of vintage aesthetics, but also different, just all kinds of different looks I tend to go with. But I'm not parading around other culture aesthetics. Sorry, I just showed you, whatever. Because, like, I'm just tired of some nonsense that goes around with, like, white goths and then praising a lot of Nazi symbolism or fucking Nordic. Like, you can like Nordic culture, etc., etc., but you know the type that leads into Nazi symbolism and all that. All kinds of shit. And then excusing it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, yeah, white goths, get your shit together.